let's talk about factoring as a way to solve quadratic equations. So suppose we've got like a quadratic equation x squared plus 3x plus 2 equals 0. So when we factor, we want to find two terms that multiply together to give this term. So it's going to be x plus something and x plus something else. The way we find what to put in these blanks here is these things have to be factors of 2 because they're going to end up multiplying to yield the constant term. That has to be 2. And they have to add up to 3 because we're going to have an x times this and then x times that has to add up to 3x. So factors of 2 that add up to 3. Well, this is pretty straightforward. Factors of 2 are just 1 and 2, and they indeed add up to 3. So we can just put it in 1 and 2. Now, in order for the product of these two terms to equal 0, at least one of the terms has to equal 0. So either x plus 1 equals 0, or x plus 2 equals 0. The reason being that if x plus 1 equals 0, then it doesn't matter what x plus 2 is, the whole thing goes to 0, because this is 0. 0 times whatever number this comes out to be is still 0. And same reason for x plus 2. 0 times whatever number this comes out to be goes to 0. So we solve these, we get x equals -1, and x equals -2. Cool. We can just double check that by plugging it back in. -1 squared is 1, then plus 3 times -1, that's -3, and then plus 2. This all sums to 0. Good. How about -2? -2 squared is 4, and -6, and plus 2. This all sums to 0. That's also good. So we're good. We found the right answer. Now let's do a trickier factoring problem. Let's do about x squared. Well, that's bad too. X squared plus about plus 14x equals 14x plus 48 equals 0. This one's a trickier one because we've got to find things that multiply to 48 and add to 14. So let's find two factors of 48 that add up to 14. So there's 1 and 48. Definitely doesn't add up to 14 though. How about 2 and 24? Well, we're getting closer, but still not quite there yet, because that still doesn't add up to 14. How about 3 and 16? Still no, that adds up to 19, but we're getting close. How about 4 and 12? Oh, we're at 16. We're almost there. 6 and 8. There we go. So then we've got x plus 6 times x plus 8. That plus 8 equals 0. So then we break it up. Either x plus 6 equals 0 or x plus 8 equals 0. So x equals -6 or x equals -8. Now, that's about the trickiest part of factoring. Sometimes you'll have equations where you have to set it up a bit first. What if we had, for example, 2x squared plus 2x equals 24, something like that. So if we want to set this up first, we gotta set one side equal to 0. So let's subtract 24 from both sides. 2x squared plus 2x minus 24 equals 0. And to clean it up a bit, let's divide by 2. That way, we've just got a 1 on this x squared, and it'll factor nice. X squared plus x minus 12 equals 0. So now what can we factor that into? So this is always the problem with factoring. What are factors of negative 12 that add to 1, because this is a 1 in front of the x, you just don't really write it there. So let's try it. So we can have negative 1 and 12. Well, no, that's not going to work. How about negative 2 and 6? Getting closer. Negative 3 and 4. Bingo, there we are. So let's put in x minus 3 and x plus 4. Now we just have to solve it. X minus 3 equals 0, or x plus 4 equals 0, in which case x is equal to either 3 or x is equal to negative 4. That's the hardest part of factoring, just finding the factors that add to a certain number.